Hey everybody, I'm back, and this time I'm going to do a review on Abeka's K5 curriculum. I'm also going to add in a little bit of K4 because it's very similar. So let's get started here. Here is the K5 curriculum book. It will give you all the lesson plans for all the books that you see on the front and all the books that you'll see on the back. So there's quite a bit all inside of this book, and it's all inclusive. Every lesson plan you need for all of them are in here. So let's get started looking through the book. When you first open up the book, they have, it goes through a sampling of everything that you might want to purchase that you could use in here, as well as giving you a scope and sequence of what the children will learn through K5. And it breaks it down into 6-week increments through the first, through these pages. And it'll tell you exactly what they're learning. Like in phonics, in the first 6 weeks, they'll learn the concept of five vowels. They'll learn 1 vowel words, the sight word the, that's for phonics. They'll learn counting 1 through 20, pennies for money. They'll learn ordinal numbers, positional words, shapes, patterns, all kinds of things. That's in the first 6 weeks. Then as you keep going, it gives you a suggested daily schedule. Now, we didn't go by this. I used my own planning book, and I put together our schedule. I didn't go by this, but this is a great little sample telling you how to get started if you're very new, like I was at the beginning of the year. In here, it just tells you some things that, like, overviews for you, so you know what you're going to be teaching them a little more in depth than just the scope and sequence goes through. So you have a few pages of that. Oh, and it also tells you about how long it should take you per subject. Like it's saying for numbers or math, it should only take you around 10 minutes. 5 minutes for skills, 10 minutes for seat work, and so on. Each one, it tells you. However, I found that most of the time, we ended up going a little bit over that. Now, some kids might not need that, but for my daughter, she tended to take a little bit longer on some of the things, or I would just reinforce it a little bit longer. So each subject varied. The times that they put on here weren't exactly to the point for what we used. After that, you get into your daily plans, and it gets right into it. The thing I loved the most about this Abeka curriculum in general is that it writes everything out step by step for you. There is no guessing with what you're going to be doing each day, all the way down to what you say to your child to help them understand. As a new homeschooler, that was key for me because I was concerned that I didn't know how to teach my child. This breaks it down for you to where it tells you exactly what to say, and in a minute I'm going to give you an example of that. So we'll get into the meatier sections here, so it's not the very beginning. But as you can see, what I did every day was just highlighted the materials and the visuals that we would be using for each lesson. So you can see here is lesson 49, and I went through and highlighted I needed this page from this book, and then I needed all of these items I had to pull out so that I could have them ready for when we started class. We use a workbox system, so for each subject, I would go through after school was over the day before and pull out all of these items and stick them in the workbox that corresponded to the subject. So after that, you go over here, and when you're ready to start your class, you look on the page, and it specifically tells you, letter, picture, flashcards. Have child give name, sound, and sentence. Emphasize J. That's where you were on, what letter we were on at that time. So then you just do as it says. You know, have your child name the sound and go, so you can see my daughter Emery in the back. You go through those letters that you've already done. Please go. And you just have the child go over it. Now over here, it says over here on here, explain that both K and C make the same sound, but there is a rule about these two letters. K goes with I and C. C goes with the other three, A, O, and U. So it breaks it down. I mean, you're able to say everything highlighted is what you would say to your child, pretty much. If you look on the back, as it gets going, you kind of learn what to do, where you're not always looking at those highlighted things where that's what you're going to say for sure, because you figure it out as you go. But at the very beginning, it was extremely helpful to me when I was very new at it and didn't know how to explain things. Again, here you can see I just highlighted the writing with phonics. The handwriting, I did notice with the handwriting that I didn't do what it said to do for handwriting. I look at handwriting as it's going to develop over time. I don't have to be so crazy structured on handwriting. You know, I need them to learn how to write and learn how to write neatly, but the overall, their stress in here is perfect posture. Make sure they're sitting correctly at their desk, which we did, but I was more concerned that they were writing the letters, not so much making sure that it was perfect form, you know, to get them there. So really with writing at the very beginning, when we first started, I was a little more on top of things with it, and I would make my daughter, who was in K5, sit perfectly, you know, and make it so she was doing it the correct way, but I just got so stressed and it wasn't worth it. So we ended up just going to pulling the sheet each day, and she knew she had to do the writing once she learned her letters. Before she learned her letters, all of them, and how to shape them, then I would be a little more stringent on making sure she was properly writing them in. So, but as time went on, we just ended up pulling the sheet and, you know, doing her writing. Let me see what else is towards the back. The numbers was excellent, which was the math class. That class, we dabbled in a little bit of everything. It's very structured in the sense that it's paperwork oriented. If you want your kids to have hands-on math and things, this is not the curriculum for you. A lot of worksheets, and goes same for phonics, a lot of worksheets and a lot of repetition. However, it was good for my daughter. She loves doing worksheets. She would do 10 of them a day if I let her. So for her, it was really fun and exciting to be able to do the worksheets. When I felt like it was getting a little too much, we would transition over to playing, and we'd pull out some blocks and different things. Like when we were learning about money, we would pretend like we were shopping, and I would say, okay, you know, tell me how much you need to buy this, and I would tell her a number, and we would work like that. And then we would skip some of the things that were for that day, and we wouldn't do them because we didn't really need to do them when we were already practicing them while playing. The phonics, excellent phonics program. I am shocked at how well my daughter can already read now that we're finished with K5. She's reading books. So many words that I'm just shocked that she can even sound out. And it all has to do with the way they break it down. The special sounds that they use that you start learning towards the end of the year really help them to figure out how to sound out the words. At first I was kind of like, how is she ever going to learn how to put these letters and things together? But as soon as they start learning the special sounds, it's like, you know, they hit it off and they just can read anything and everything. So it's so cool to see how it grows, you know, and how it builds on each lesson builds up over time. I think that's really the only thing I can tell you about the curriculum book, the lesson book. Now I figured I would show you some stuff on how we organized it. This year I was kind of not liking this idea. I'm going to change it for next year. But we used, every time we pulled a paper out of our books, our workbooks, after they were finished and I went over them and checked them, I would stick them in this folder, and I just did the 3-hole punch folder. However, we had all of these for each subject. I had 4 of them, and I hated them. It got too full. It just doesn't look neat, and I'm all about neat and orderly. So this year, for first grade, we're going to change it. And my son just started K4. So instead of that, I ended up going with spiral binding our workbooks. much, much easier. I can already tell I'm going to love it. My son just started K4, like I said, and it's just wonderful that everything is all kept in the same spot. So the only thing that kind of doesn't work well is when they have like a readiness skills page or something that they have to cut with or something, you know, for working on that. Other than that, those will get pulled out. But this is the K4 books, and I love having these spiral bound. You can get them spiral bound for about $4 a book. I went to Office Max and had them done. Hang on one second.
Abby.
Okay, can you go downstairs and play, please? Okay, so what came with my kit? I had all of the work. I got the parent kit and the child kit. And that came with all of the workbooks that were needed, the consumable workbooks that were needed. And I also got the curriculum book. And then because we did manuscript this year, we'll do cursive this coming year. They sent me this curriculum with lesson plans. We didn't really use this, honestly. The cursive stuff that was in the actual curriculum guide followed very similarly. The only thing I will say that was excellent for out of here, shh, 1 minute, was in the very beginning, they have all of how their hints for writing. And these are awesome for when you're explaining to your child how to write an A. Just for an example, an A looks like an Indian teepee with a door. So that was very helpful for my daughter this year, and I'm finding it the same for my son. He loves the little catchy phrases that they use, and so did she. So it makes it really nice, you know, when we're drawing an eye and it says, you know, it's a tall man with a little hat and little shoes. It's so cute to see them saying, you know, it's a tall man with a little hat and little shoes. So they really did benefit from that. If anything, I would say this right here, this guide, I don't know if you can find it anywhere else or what, but this was excellent. Hang on a second. Okay, so moving along here, what else did we get with our curriculum? So in the basic, the child kit and the parent kit, like I said, you got all those other books, and then it also comes with all of these charts and games. You get learning games. Can you go help her, please? Thank you. You get learning games, you get phonics charts and games, and numbers charts and games. Then you also get a calendar set. Liam, I am busy right now, please. It comes with a calendar that you can pull. We didn't use it because I had bought one, but I saved it just in case. Let's see here, what else came with it? I wanted to add these blend ladders are all in the back of the curriculum book. I ended up tearing mine out and laminating them because they just got so wore out and I didn't feel like buying them when I already had them. So we just laminated them and they worked good. It wasn't as nice at first. We always had them folded in half and she just did one side or the other. But eventually it wasn't a big deal. So we just had them flat and she just would read up and down the ladders as they went. So this comes in the curriculum book. And it's all of the blends that you'll go through. Also, what comes in there is you'll get a huge box. I think there's 119 cards of your special sounds. They come in this nice box to keep them in if you'd like. But I started laminating mine because we were using them so frequently. I almost wish all of my cards were laminated because this is great when they're laminated. They don't get ruined. So they'll learn about the first 50 in K5. And basically they just go through them. You flip them over and they read the back and they learn them. They learn them like this. They go stir and stream. STR, stir, stir, stir. So each one they'll learn. There's tons of them. I mean, this is the first 50 that I'm holding right now. And so these also come in the, I think they come in the child kit. But it could be the parent kit. I'm not sure offhand. So you get all of these charts and games. They come with little game pieces. What I did was I cut them all out or punched them all out and put them in baggies with the names of which ones they go with. So I have them for future reference and it makes it much easier to grab. We did use them not as often as they said to use them in there because sometimes it was just too much extra work to add on. For K4, it's very, very similar for K4. So if you're following this for K4 too, we're only about 17 lessons in, and it's very much the same in the realms of it breaks everything down the same. The only difference is it goes much slower than K5. K4, you spend a lot more time on one letter, where K5, you kind of zoom through them at the beginning. I think because they expect them to either grasp them quickly or to already kind of know them. So you don't spend much time on them in K5 as much as you would in K4. All of these are also used in K4. So for me, we bought K5 first. So I had almost everything that I needed for K4, which worked out good. I bought my stuff for K4 in used form besides the workbooks. So to tell you exactly what I got in the kits, I didn't buy the kit in full, so I can't tell you for sure. You'll have to look at their website to find out. Some extra things that I bought that I found were very useful, and some that I found that weren't very useful that I probably didn't really need. These are the numbers, the regular numbers flashcards. There's 1 through 200. The first side is all the single digits and double digits, and if you turn them over are all the triple digits, up to 200. These are very handy. You use these the majority of the year in K5. I'm not sure how much you use them in K4. We haven't gotten there yet. Something else that comes in the kit, actually, that I forgot, are the readers. You get all of your readers that you'll use through the year. So here's all the K4 books, or K5 books, I'm sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to leave that out. Something else I purchased extra that were very much needed that I did not get right at the beginning were the letter picture flashcards, and I have them separated because it was easier to grab uppercase and lowercase separately. So they have letters on the front, just like it says letter picture, and pictures on the back. You use these constantly, and they are very helpful. I thought, oh, I'll just draw them, or we'll just use different ones. No, these are much, much needed. So I would definitely, if you're going to buy anything, buy the letter picture flashcards. Let's see here. You also, something else I bought were these number picture or number concept flashcards is what they're called. These basically are exactly as explained. It says a number on the front and that many items on the back. And you use these a lot. These are also the other thing few other things that we purchased later that I didn't purchase right on. You don't need them right away, but I would budget for them later because I tried writing them all out and it was such a pain in the butt, were the addition and subtraction flashcards. The subtraction, you don't necessarily need to buy them for K5. You will need them in first grade, but you just start very, very basic subtraction. You only use maybe the first 10 cards. So it's really not necessarily, you could write the subtraction out. I bought them towards the end of the year only because I knew we'd use them for first. So I wasn't concerned about it. But they come also, most of their stuff comes in nice little cardboard boxes for you to store them. And another thing that you might want to purchase that I picked up at Walmart for like $4 was a little pack of coins and dollar bills. You don't learn the dollars yet in K5, but you will use the coins a lot. So the coins come in handy. Let's see what else we have in here. Let's see. I ended up purchasing the clue word cards. I didn't have them at first, but they were very beneficial. We used them actually a lot more than we use the big giant cards. Basically, they're just the special sound, and on the back it says the word that goes with the special sound. So you go through these a lot. We'll actually be using those as review over the summer because it'll make it a lot quicker than pulling out the bulky cards. So these are very beneficial too. Some things that I didn't find we needed all that much were the blend practice cards B, which I bought these at the end because I thought we were missing out on so much. But for my daughter, we didn't really need them. She could blend them really easily. Now, I'll still keep them because I think my son might need them and my other daughter, but I didn't find they were necessary. Also, the blend practice A, they're kind of the same thing. I still have the box with these because these were I bought brand new. The ones I didn't buy new, I'm kind of bumming for because I like the cardboard boxes and I don't have them for those. But anyway, so these ones, same thing. I found it much easier to just take it, write a few on the board for them to sound out, or write them on a piece of paper and let them sound them out to me rather than having to get out more cards to look through. If you don't feel like doing that, though, they are great to just be able to grab and go. We did use them, just not as often as what you would think for the price they are. Same goes for these. These are the basic K5 concept cards. I bought these halfway through the year, too. I just don't see a need for them. I mean, I'll still use them for when we need them, but half the time I'm like, I don't even need to pull them out. I'll just draw that on the board, or we'll just talk about it, and I don't have to have this card. At the beginning, I felt, oh, I need that. I'm missing it, and I don't have it, so we bought it. Something else we purchased I have a half a set of these dot cards, and I had made some of my own. These, same thing. I really only used them up to number 7, and I have number 7 on of these. You don't really have to have them. If your child learns well with them, that's great. If not, you can make them, and these are simple. These were, I don't know, I bought these used. I couldn't tell you how much they were. Either way, they're not a necessity for you to take. You can draw these on the board, very simple. I'm going to show you a little bit of how I organize things, and then I think that'll wrap it up, so hold on just a second. Alright, so let me show you a little bit of how I organize the stuff. We do school down in our basement, so we have a school room down there, and I'll show you this one, it's a little better. This is where I keep all of their workbooks, so that way I can just grab them, and I stick them in their work box for that day, and I have it open to the page they need, and that's what I found to work best. So that way they're all together, and each child will have one of those things. I picked up these boxes from Target for like $1 or $2 up in the front at school time. They also have the hard plastic ones. I have a couple of those, but they're much bigger. I like these. I wish they were plastic, but because they hold the books a little bit nicer. The only other thing that we really do to really organize our stuff for school with the curriculum is this box. You can see, and this is my box that holds all of our stuff that I just pulled out. I got this box. It comes in 2s, so you can see I have 3 on there right now. Basically, it comes in a set of 2. You can get these at Target as well for $7 or $8, $7.99 I think. These are excellent. I have everything for K4 and K5 in these boxes. The only thing I'm missing right now are the little readers that K4 has. And so it holds them really well. And actually, all the stuff I need for 1st grade is also in here because I've already gotten that stuff too. So all 3 of these boxes hold all 3 grades. I'm actually contemplating adding 1 more box, but probably separating it into 2 separate containers. And that way, I can separate a little bit more out for, say, 1st grade or K4 if I need to. Other than that, everything else, this is everything I use. So if I didn't have my basement, all I would need to grab is this giant box and the books over here and my curriculum guide. Other than that, that's all we use. So it's very easy to be able to set it up at your kitchen table or wherever. There's not too much that you have to store to take care of this school, for K5 and so forth. The last thing I want to go over real quick is what I use to plan. Last year I used the Well Plan Day, and I loved this planner. This isn't a review on the planner. I'm just going to go through how I did my days. But I'm kind of looking for a different planner this year. I want to do it a little bit differently. But basically, when I planned out our homeschool days, I'll show you real quick. At first, I started using pencil, and then once I added my son, I was like, I can't see where his stuff is. And I don't have them up here. But I ended up purchasing, they're called friction pens. That's F-R-I-X-I-O-N. Friction pens. And I think they're made by Pilot. And they are awesome. They're erasable gel pens that you can use in several different colors. You guys need to work it out and stop yelling right now. As you can see, it's a normal day in our house. And there's nothing to do for them. We're getting ready to leave, so they're getting antsy. But anyway, so basically I write down, you can see my daughter, she was the K4 or K5. She is in purple, and my son I put in blue, or like a teal color. I went down the side and I ended up doing a, what's it called? Oh my gosh, whiteout down the side and putting it in how I wanted it to look instead of what they wrote in. And then across the top, I just put any morning activities that we had going on. And at the bottom, we put night, and I put anything we would do at night. And then through the day, all of our subjects. So I would simply just write usually I would write the lesson number. And if we were doing review, I'd write review. If we had a sheet we were going to do, we would write the sheet in, the worksheet in. And then for my son, he didn't have too many days with worksheets, so I would just write what letter we're working on or what we were doing that day. And that's all I did. And as we went through our day, I would check mark things off. I would like to get one that has, weeks where you put in the week number instead of where I put it in by date, because so many times we did not follow through with this, and I only did 1 week at a time. I would rather be able to just go in and write out all my lessons and be able to check them off each time instead of having to stick to, okay, today's the 2nd, we have to be on the 2nd, because that just drove me nuts. So that's the one thing I am looking at changing. Like I said, this isn't a review for the planner, so I'm not going to go through really anything else in the planner. Just wanted to show you how I kind of did my day. Basically, we just kind of went down our list and checked off each thing. I didn't have a set schedule. Besides, we woke up at the same time every day, and we made sure we were starting school around the same time. Other than that, it was just kind of like we winged it every day. So that's just what we did for K5 and K4, a little bit about K4. I hope that you guys choose Abeka if it seems right for you, because it's an excellent curriculum that has a lot of great aspects to it. We only did the very basics, the math, the writing, reading, phonics, and the skills section. We didn't do science or history. So I don't know how those go. We're going to use those in 1st grade, but not through Abeka, actually somebody else. I want it to be a little more hands-on. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed this review, and I hope you found it beneficial to your homeschool. And I guess until next time, thank you for watching.